Welcome to another educational insurance marketing and lead gen web seminar brought to you by StartUpSelling. Today we'll be discussing the top 7 insurance marketing and lead gen things to do for 2015. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce today's speakers. Our featured guest speaker is Alan Bloom. Alan's the founder and CEO of StartUpSelling. He's the author of Your Virtual Success and Sell More and Work Less. Was twice named to the prestigious Inc. 500 list, creator of the Prospect Scorecard, author of over 150 agency marketing articles, and he's been doing this, insurance agency and wholesale broker marketing, for more than a decade. My name is John Scranton. I'm an agency marketing pro who handles business development and sales for StartUpSelling. Was previously an agent for a top 100 agency in New York State, co-author of Sell More and Work Less. Since I've been at StartUpSelling, we've grown quickly, more than doubled, and between my agency days and my agency marketing days, now have over a decade as well of insurance marketing experience. And with that, we're going to dive right in to the top 7 marketing and lead gen things to do for 2015. Number 1, update your website to a mobile compliant, mobile friendly, mobile optimized site. Some of you in the crowd may be asking why my website doesn't sell anything for me. Well, maybe it doesn't close a large group account, or it doesn't close a middle market workers' comp account, but everybody you interact with, all of your stakeholders, see your website and judge you based upon that website. So when a client visits, they should leave learning more about you and the value that you can convey. When prospects visit, they should learn what you have to offer and how intelligent and experienced and helpful your people will be. When recruits, potential hires visit your site, they should be impressed and learn about the culture and the exciting things happening at your agency or wholesale brokerage. You can do that by leveraging a current design, current technology, making sure that you're optimized for a desktop, laptop, tablet, mobile device. You can include a content management system to make it easy for your employees to constantly update the site, and leverage educational content that shows value to each of these different stakeholders. And lastly, make sure that you're capturing leads and trying to convert these visitors into revenue, into cross sales, or into future employees. With that, I'd like to have Alan chime in. Alan, comments on updating your website in 2015.
So, if you remember back in the days when the internet was emerging and people were trying to throw up websites quickly, they were often highly textual, sometimes a blue screen with white print on it. They were very, very basic. And today you'd kind of laugh at those, saying, you know, what a joke, those look so bad today, and how embarrassing it would have been if you had something like that today. Well, with the emergence of tablets, phablets, mobile devices, there's phones that are now crossing over where the phone is so large it's almost a tablet. It has a stylus on it. The iPhone 6 is very large. iPads are heavily in use now, all different types. Websites today are heavily used on mobile devices. So people spend a lot of time making the site look good for a PC, or look at it at the computer and think all is well, are missing a key component, because more than 50% of people today view websites on mobile devices. So if there's one thing you should do with a takeaway from today's webinar, is when you're thinking about your insurance organization, your brokerage, your agency, your wholesale firm, your MGA, make sure your website is updated so it is mobile compliant. And a regular site that's shown on a phone, that's shown on a smartphone or a tablet, doesn't work well, doesn't look good, doesn't render correctly for a mobile site. So number one thing to do, make sure your website is mobile compliant.
In our opinion, a close second is incorporating video into what you're doing from a marketing and lead gen perspective. Video gives you the opportunity to both educate and entertain your prospects, clients, stakeholders, as I mentioned before. You can convey value, show people what you can deliver, and also share your expertise in an interesting and entertaining way. Visitors are 4 times more likely to watch a video on your website than they are to read text. So So they want to be told. They don't want to have to seek out the information on their own. Video allows you to quickly grab people's attention, explain things that aren't simple in a simple way, and then influence the decision-making process of your prospects or clients or, again, recruits who may be visiting your site at your agency, brokerage, or MGA. Alan, comments about video?
So with the advent of all the cyber attacks, all the issues, perhaps people have been seeing some content about Anthem, where 80 million people, their contact information was stolen. Just think of the size, 80 million people. That California has 35 million people, Canada 33 million people. It's a massive number. Well, to try to explain all the nuances would be a very long blog or article, 400-word article, 600-word article. Wouldn't it be better to convey that in a 3-minute video? And how many executives would be interested in learning about that and also the transference of risk through a cyber liability policy in a short, pithy video? So video today, you should have your value proposition video on your homepage, more video content, there's many choices, whiteboard animated videos, recorded webinars, traditional videos, talking head videos, recorded interviews, lots of great things you could do with video today. But the important takeaway is have some video on your website, and for extra credit, also place it on YouTube, directing people back to your insurance website. Is it as important as having a mobile compliant website? I'd say no. The first thing you want to do is have a mobile compliant website, and as John mentioned, the second thing to do is have some video available to entertain, to educate, to attract, to improve stickiness, to decrease that bounce rate, and to convey your professionalism on your insurance website.
The massive number of visitors to YouTube and the amount of time people spend on YouTube's site show that video works and is important and powerful, so don't allow that to be a hole in your web marketing strategy. Tip number 3, utilize press releases. Agencies and brokerages that we talk to often say, well, we don't have a lot of exciting news. But yes, you do. You're always hiring people, creating new products or offering new products, signing with new carriers. There's always change. There's always exciting things that you could share, and a press release or news release allows you to do that quickly and effectively and in a big, big way. What do we mean by that? Well, press releases, they'll expand your reach and increase brand awareness because thousands of people who may or may not know about you will see them. Many of them will be in-profile people because you can target where these releases go. Examples of recent press releases that we've sent out, and there's a screen capture of one on the screen now, often receive over 100,000 impressions, thousands of media deliveries, maybe 3, 5, even 10,000 depending on the target and the content. Thousands of people read these press releases, 4,000, 6,000, again, even 10,000 at times, and hundreds of people click through or interact with this content coming back to the agencies or wholesale brokers or us that the press releases are sent out on behalf of. So, Alan, what comments do you have about press releases?
Today, the press release technology that's available is really powerful. People don't realize how much value that they can get from issuing a press release. So one of our recent solutions for insurance organizations is called a power webinar. You take a webinar format like this, you have a speaker. Perhaps they're talking about the new update for transportation, the new tax on gasoline for transportation companies, which is going to be a big impact to them. Perhaps you're talking about the cyber liability that I just mentioned, or PPACA and compliance for your benefits organization. But you take an important concept, we record a 5-minute webinar on that, potentially in the series. Now you have something really newsworthy to offer, whether it is a new executive webinar on cyber liability or PPACA and compliance updates, the intersection with ERISA, many, many things that are newsworthy. And when these get sent out through a premium press release service like PR Web, for example, it helps improve not only the your website help, your insurance search engine optimization, but it actually gets interested prospects coming to your website. Now that does say we want to have an up-to-date website, but assuming you have a professional website, you now have people driven to your website using this terrific vehicle. So I'm very much in favor of press releases. We use them all the time. We use them for our clients. It's very professional. If you have a YouTube video, you can also highlight the video. You can have a quotable in it. You can have images. You can have your logo in it. Today, the press releases are powerful, and they're distributed to 4,000 to 5,000 news outlets. So not only can you say, I'm a trucking transportation agency in New England, so I'm concerned with these 5 states. Yes, you can send it out. It goes out to more states, but you can focus on those 5 states. Very powerful. No reason not to use it for agencies.
TTD number 4, leverage blogging and social media. We think blogging is extremely important for agencies and wholesale brokers because it allows you to accomplish a number of different things, all of which bring value to your marketing and lead gen campaigns. First, you can share your expertise with your prospects. People who don't know you. Producer leaves a business card on a desk, meets somebody at a Chamber of Commerce dinner, and they look at your website the next day. Hopefully it's beautiful, mobile compliant, and loaded with video, but also it should have a blog where people within your agency are sharing information that conveys your expertise to show them that you know what you're doing, you know what you're talking about, and you understand the challenges that they're facing and can help them. Secondly, it gives you the opportunity to deliver value to your clients. Clients who maybe don't get a call every week or even every month from their producer or account manager, if they're subscribed to your blog or newsletter, are receiving valuable information about risk management or other initiatives that can help them improve their business, managing their experience mod factor possibly. Then they're receiving value and additional touches without an actual action from the salesperson or account manager. You can also connect with prospective employees, show them how fun and exciting it is to work at your organization. It's a challenge to get young, aggressive producers to come to agencies, especially as agencies who don't look professional and up-to-date on the web. So having a mobile compliant website that looks great on the 25-year-old executive's iPhone with a blog that's loaded with content that shows them how professional and smart everybody at your organization is will help get them interested in what it is that you're doing. And then social media. I've spent a lot of time on this slide without mentioning it. Don't ignore it. We don't put as much value into social media as some other organizations do, but with billions of users, literally billions of people every day using LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Google+, it can't be ignored and it can't be a weakness. You can't say, we just don't bother. It's too important and there's too many people out there who will see what you have to say and possibly interact with your team if you share this valuable blog or video or press release content to social media. Your clients and prospects are using it. You need to be too. Alan, what comments do you have about blogging and social media?
So John, my contention is that I'm a professional individual and I am a leader, a thought leader in my field. Now, great that I say that about myself because, that's a biased opinion. However, I can prove it because I have over 1,000 followers now, 1,000 connections on LinkedIn. I have 1,500 followers on Twitter. I have 1,000 blogs I've written. I have over 100 marketing articles that have been published on eZine. So what blogging and social media do for executives is it helps establish their credibility and professionalism. So you may not be driving a lot of leads through social media, but anybody who happens upon your LinkedIn company page or your LinkedIn profile, or if somebody's searching for you on Twitter or looks at you on Facebook, you want to look professional. And if you have content that can answer their questions, cyber liability, CSA regulations, new OSHA regulations if you're dealing with manufacturers. Those things really help show that you are a professional individual, that you're up to date with technology, that you are putting yourself out there in a professional and established way that you can showcase yourself as a thought leader in the industry. So I love blogging and social media for that regard. Beyond that, there is value in carrying your message out to prospects and clients, but at a minimum, you want to look professional and try to showcase your expertise.
Tip number 5, if you haven't already, launch an email marketing initiative in 2015. Before, on the blogging slide, we talked about ways to touch prospects and clients and to interact with them without having your producers actually pick up the phone or stop in their office. They don't have time to call on the 876 middle market businesses in their territory, but they can absolutely send these people an educational value-based email on a monthly or maybe twice a month basis to make sure that they let these people know they exist, create brand awareness, to expand their reach from the 38 people they called last week to now maybe 1,000 or thousands of people they can email this week, and gives them the opportunity, producers, executives, wholesale brokers as well, to show these people the type of value that their organization can provide. If they explain to maybe a contractor how they understand the risk of falls and working on rooftops and how their experience mod factors and rates go out of control whenever there's any type of problem, and then explain how there are ways to do that, to manage that and help them improve their cost structure in an educational way without selling, they can quickly convey value and expertise to prospects who need their help and are in profile. It also is yet another client retention tool. Just like the blogs that we talked about, maybe you're actually emailing out the same content or links to that blog content in an e-marketing campaign to your clients who need a little bit of TLC throughout the year. Clients who maybe see their agent twice a year but receive a dozen emails per year will feel much more loved when it becomes renewal time than they would if they weren't receiving anything beneficial or helpful from the agency. Alan, how do you like to use email marketing for your clients that you handle?
If you haven't embarked upon an email marketing initiative for your organization, carpe diem, today is the day to do so. Email marketing is a great lead generator. Email marketing is, we get over 40% of our business from e-marketing and webinars. So e-marketing carries your message to a highly targeted market. Now, a lot of agencies, brokers, and wholesalers don't have a list. It's something we do for our clients. It's something that you can try to do on your own, but you want to get a high-quality list by geography, by title, company size. You want to vet that list, have it separated into clients and prospects, arguably suspects. You then want to offer people an easy way to opt out to honor all the CAN-SPAM regulations, and you want to start working that list by providing educational content. A newsletter, a unique digital newsletter can be a great fulfillment offer. The Power webinar series that we mentioned, a webinar like you're attending today, educational content, a blog series, articles on pertinent, now again, not necessarily insurance articles, they could be business related articles. You take that content and you drive it to the people that you want to start that digital conversation with. So if you haven't started upon this, definitely it's something that should be a top priority for your marketing. It is very doable. It should be done professionally. You should probably use an alternate domain name. If these things are foreign to you, you're more than welcome to contact StartUpSelling, and our marketing team can give you some advice and suggestions on how you would start embarking upon this. But email marketing is one of the top lead generation opportunities for brokers, for agents, for wholesalers.
Thanks, Alan. While you were talking, I noticed a couple questions came in, and please do continue to submit your questions throughout the webinar. But one of the questions was, how does email marketing create leads? And I think you started to touch upon that, but to close the loop, the way email marketing, or really any of these other initiatives we've talked about today, create leads are when somebody who has interacted with you actually receives a phone call afterwards. And we call those appointment setting follow-up calls, which is number 6 on our TTD list for 2015. When you do this work, building a beautiful mobile compliant website that's interactive and adding educational and entertaining videos and blogging and posting to social media and sending out emails, you will create opportunities. People who respond to the email, click through on the email, open and read the email, people who comment on your blog post, people who connect with you on LinkedIn, people who watch your video. All of these opportunities need to be capitalized on. You need to have somebody, whether it's a producer or a telemarketing organization like we have, or somebody else within the agency, needs to be calling all these people to say, hey, saw that you were interested. Is there a way that we can help you? Capitalize on those opportunities. This is how you create an ROI on all of these things that you're doing. I often get questions from agency and brokerage execs. How do I ROI my blogging campaign? Well, it's a bit of a soft ROI until you get somebody on the phone who commits to an appointment and you have the opportunity to possibly quote and present to them. Alan, talk a little bit more about appointment setting follow-up calls, if you will.
So teeing it up as you did with the e-marketing, John, you send out an e-marketing campaign. It goes out to 5,000 prospects. You get opens and you get click-throughs, and perhaps 50 people click through on that campaign. Of those 50 people, they're interested in something you're offering. It's called digital fulfillment of some type. Could be a power webinar, could be a send me a white paper, send me a blog, subscribe to my newsletter, etc. Whatever it is, you now have click-throughs. You're going to call every one of those click-throughs. When I say you are going to call, you may not have the time to call. Producers are busy. So you might hire a telemarketing firm or telemarketer. You might outsource it to StartUpSelling. You want professional, educated insurance people making those calls. We call them warm calls. They're calling all those click-throughs, many in the opens, and they'll get their percentage of hit, and they'll book appointments. Perhaps now we're booking 5 appointments for you per week, 20 appointments per month. Your close ratio is 20%. You have 4 closes per month. Now it can vary based upon the type of insurance that you're selling, the type of product that you have. You know, a group benefits that's over 100 is going to be different than a trucking opportunity that has 3 power vehicles. That said, 3 power units. That said, the concept remains the same. Contacting people through email, following up with calls. Now, you don't have to make these warm calls. You could just do appointment setting, and many of our clients do that. It's especially powerful for transportation companies. It works quite well for benefits companies. But if you're doing both, you're doubling down. You have an integrated approach, which typically yields a much higher impact. It's all about the numbers. It's about getting in front of prospects who can and will buy. Appointment setting calls and e-marketing are the 2 strongest lead generators that you can have. They're the shortest, fastest path to leads and to building your pipeline for insurance brokers, agencies, and wholesalers. Quick story, we had a client who was hiring 2 new producers. We already were involved in an e-marketing and appointment setting campaign for one of their senior producers. Was going very well. Sure enough, we started for their new producers, and those producers are doing very well now because they are not spending their day just mindlessly calling. They're following up on warm opportunities. So don't underestimate the power of appointment setting, or especially appointment setting with e-marketing as an integrated approach to lead generation.
You know, I happen to know the client that Alan is referring to very well, and part of the reason that their appointment setting campaign has grown and improved and delivered just a ton of great opportunity to them is because early on we helped them with tip number 7, implementing a lead handling process. You're investing time in these new initiatives. You're making calls or somebody's making calls for you, either warm calls or cold calls. What happens when these opportunities come in? When the producer is out on the road or at lunch and he gets an email that says, we scheduled an appointment for you Tuesday at 10 a.m. with ABC Manufacturing Company. They're awaiting your call, or however it looks. What happens? How do you maximize the potential of these opportunities? When you put in all that work to get the leads, you don't want them to go to waste. So somebody, whether it's a producer, account manager, CSR, anybody in the agency who's competent and available to do this and do it right and quickly, must follow a process. And it can be simple, but it should be formal and it should be written down. Something like when a lead comes in, an Outlook invitation immediately goes out to that person to get them to lock in the meeting time. So have them confirm what they said on the phone, that they will meet on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Do some research, learn more about the account, and send them a confirmation or reminder at some point, maybe a day or two before the meeting. Provide them with collateral before the meeting. I know some people who like to do this days or even weeks in advance. Some people that like to do it 15 minutes before the meeting as a reminder and to plant the seed of what they're going to do. Send them a case study or a value proposition video link or some information that reminds them of what you're going to be talking about, why they should be talking to you, and why what you do is unique and important. And if you follow those steps, the appointments will stick and they'll be valuable. Alan, how have you seen lead handling work in some of the clients that you work with?
Well, this is a good topic to wrap up quickly on. Basically, if an agency or broker or wholesaler does not have a formalized lead handling process, they should navigate to our blogs at StartUpSelling.com. We have several blogs and articles on creating a lead handling process, or they should reach out to John Scranton and arrange a time to discuss how they can implement a formalized professional lead handling process. If you don't have one of those in place, it's going to kill the efficacy of any lead generation program you're trying to do, simply stated. With that, John, are there any questions? Because we want to wrap up, of course, in our 30-minute allotted time.
You know, we're short on time today. I will respond to all the questions that have come in via email. So I'll wrap up concisely here with this slide. The top 7 marketing and lead gen TTDs for 2015. Update your website, incorporate video, utilize press releases, leverage blogging and social media. If you haven't already started on email marketing, get it going. Make follow-up calls to capitalize on the opportunities created and implement a lead handling process immediately. If you have any questions, as Alan said, please feel free to contact me. I'll reply via email to the questions that came in during the webinar. With that, today's web seminar is